Hey, welcome back to another episode here on Third Coast Reptile. Today I'm going to be going over my top 5 ways you can save money on your tortoise enclosure. Let's get started. Alright, so we're going to go over these top 5 things to save money on your tortoise enclosure. However, to be on that list, they has to meet a few criteria. Number 1, it has to be something that either sustains or improves the quality of life of your tortoise. Otherwise, why would you try to risk it for something cheaper? Just go with something more expensive. Number 2, it has to actually be durable, guys. If it's something that keeps breaking anyway, then you're not really saving money. You're just spending more of it in little increments. That's no good. We don't want that. And lastly, it actually has to be cheaper than the stuff you buy at the store. Otherwise, it's not cheaper, and you're not saving money. And that's no good. So let's get started with number 1 here, shall we? Number 1, the food and water dish. So the name brand sort of expensive versions are these like beautiful rock looking enclosure dish things that, you know, they're aesthetically pleasing, they look good, they do a wonderful job, there's no doubt about that, but they're expensive. They cost $10-15 a piece, easy. But if you want to do it a little cheaper, you can get yourself a TerraPot base. They're 6 inches in diameter, they're about 1 inch deep, and that's plenty for a small water dish or a food dish. They're very durable. They certainly keep the food off the substrate, which will prevent impaction, and they're like $3. And you can get them anywhere. It's great. So, number 2, that would be the hide. The hide is something that it has a purpose, right? Otherwise, your tortoise would feel insecure. It doesn't have a safe place to go at night or in the day, for that matter. And it gives it an opportunity to have a choice of being out in that basking and UVB bulb or being hidden away in that enclosure. So the hide can be something as simple as a tote turned upside down and has a hole cut in it. That's it. Boom. You have a hide. It's really cheap. So if you do want to get something more expensive, I guess, but you don't need it. It's a hide. It's simple. It can grow with your tortoise, or you can buy the more expensive thing. I don't know why. I have opinions about that, but that's for another episode. Moving on, number 4, substrate. Substrate is something that serves a purpose. It's ground to walk on. Certainly you don't want to get something that's going to be harmful to your tortoise. You don't want to have anything that has like growing additives in it, such as Miracle-Gro. But you can get topsoil. Topsoil is readily available in bags. You can bring it home, put it in your enclosure, and you're done. I did it in my last enclosure in the previous video. And they're about $3 a bag. And they're easy to use, and they hold humidity and provide a place to burrow and dig and such. Pretty self-explanatory. Buy dirt. Well, that was a fast one. Let's get to number 4. 4? Wait, we did the dishes. We did the hides, substrate. Number 4. Yeah, 4. Okay, number 4. That would be the enclosure itself. So you can get these. I think they're called tortoise huts or tortoise houses, and they're basically a wood box with a hide on one side and a screen lid on the other, and it's just wood, right? You can build one at home for probably half the price, although wood is kind of expensive nowadays. So what's my cheap option? That guy right there. Right there. Rubbermaid, 50-gallon. Boom. It's done. It's easy, it's cheap, around $50. They're 60-gallon, and they do very well. I have my Egyptian tortoise in that one, and I have a semi-aquatic Florida box turtle in that one back there. I have a fully aquatic side neck turtle down there in that one. I use them everywhere. You know why? Because they work, and they're cheap. So, lastly, number 5. You made it to the last part of this list. So what does that mean? That means you should subscribe. Hit a notification bell. You made it this far in the video? Hey, you earned it. Go ahead and hit that badge of honor and be a subscriber. I greatly appreciate it. So, the last thing on my list is free. That's right, free. It is branches, logs. You can get those things outside. They're wood, right? Now, hold up. I know what you're thinking. Well, John, they're going to have parasites and bugs and stuff in them, and you don't want that in it. That's true. There are many YouTube videos on how to sanitize them, how to get them ready and prep them for your enclosure. The gist of it is you want to stick to hardwoods. So you want to find like an oak tree, you want to find like a maple, maybe an ash tree if you can get one, and you want to find a log that's not on the ground. You want something that's kind of still up in the air. Maybe it fell recently in a storm, something like that. And you want to get all the like sharp, like splintery stuff off of it, smooth it out, sand it, and then you want to go ahead and sanitize it. And from what I've read, there's a couple ways to do so. You can get like alcohol and douse it in alcohol and then let that absorb and clean and air out for a couple. The other option, I think you can actually cook them in the oven for a while, but I'm a little uneasy about putting wood in an oven. Sounds like a house fire recipe to me. I don't know, but there are reptile videos specifically on how to sanitize wood, and there are many methods. And think about this. You're buying wood from the reptile store anyway, so it's possible. There are ways to do it. So those are my top 5 quick ways you can save money assembling a tortoise enclosure. And my final thoughts on this, kind of my Jerry Springer final thoughts, you remember that show? Your tortoise enclosure at a hatchling or yearling stage can be something a little less aesthetically pleasing. It can be something as simple as a tote or a tub and terrapots and, just cheaper stuff like that. When they start getting into their more permanent enclosures, their forever homes as I like to call them, that's when you can start getting into the more elaborate and fancier looking stuff that's suitable to their size, because these box chain stores, they tend to cater to these little hatchling stuff. So scalable things, it's just, they're not existent. So you have to do a lot of custom work. There are marketable companies out there that you can find that will build to your suit, to your liking, to your suit, what you would want as far as an enclosure is concerned. You're still going to have to go out and sanitize wood if you want something large for an arboreal animal, if you're not doing something for a tortoise. And, quite frankly, these hides that you can get from the store only go so big, and you have a sulcata, they're not going to fit in them anyway. So you're going to have to build some sort of hide for them in your enclosure in their forever home. Just food for thought later on down the road. Anyway, thanks for watching the video. I hope this one's cool for you. Also, if you have something that wasn't on my top 5 list that has that criteria I was talking about, then go ahead and put them in the comments below. I'd love to hear them, and so will the rest of the group. This is all about taking care of animals and doing it properly. So please, like, subscribe, and add those comments at the bottom. It'd mean the world to me. Thanks for watching.